Oh. Holy shit. Boys and girls, we are off to a hell of a start. And we didn't even hit record yet. And I know it's just going to get better. It's going to get more savage because look who we got. This is my last STP on the schedule. I haven't really reached out, and nobody's reached out to me at this point. So I may just take a little siesta right now on the STP just for maybe a week or so. I've been running rampant a few a week now, but look at who we've got. One savage man himself. This is STP, starting the pot with Donkey Cade, and we are on a fine Tuesday evening. And look who we have, boys and girls. PJ Savage with us. Welcome to the show, my man. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, man. Thank you, man. I miss you.
Yeah, I know we don't get to see. Yeah, we don't get to see each other at live events enough, my man.
Yeah, no, I wish I could get into the New England scene more. You guys have a pretty locked gate, You guys don't let a lot of the New Yorkers come up, especially guys like me, who's like, I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna be the best guy there, Like, I'm gonna come in and run roughshod. So guys like me aren't too accepted everywhere.
As they say, you're gonna pull up and take care of business,
Yeah, exactly.
That's not on me. That's not on me.
No. And I'm not taking any shots at like anybody. I was at a show in New England. The last time I was there, and I'm not naming names. I'm not dropping anything. The promoter was literally mad that I got over, and made their guys kind of look beneath me, and I guess they were trying to build their guys. And the stuff I shot for them never aired, never came out. It's weird, man. And it's just like,
wow.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That's just a weird thing to tell another wrestler, oh, way to steal the spotlight. Like the way I was like taught and trained and brought up was, just you put a piece of steak in between two dogs and they're gonna fight over it. Like, that's me, man. So it's like I don't know. I'm gonna get over wherever I go. Or I'm gonna try to, like that's the goal. I'm not gonna get my life for anybody.
The first impression, obviously, is what you look for, is what we look for as fans. And obviously, that's what the promoters look for. Why not lift, if you will? Why not lift what you have right in front of you, right in the palm of your hands? Unexpectedly, if you will. Because these things just happen organically, right? I use the word organically a lot.
I'm a very organic person. Everything I do is very organic. So when I get over is a very loose term to use. Like, it's not 20,000 people chanting my name. But, like, there's a believability factor that I walk in with. And the fans that are there, whether it be 20 people, 100 people, or 150 people, no matter what, they gravitate towards it. And I get it. A lot of the farther away promoters, I'm from New York. So if you're bringing me into Massachusetts or Connecticut even though Connecticut's kind of closer, but Massachusetts and all those 5-6 hour drives, you're like, PJ Savage isn't going to be a guy that I'm have up here every month. So I want my local guy to go over. I want my guy that I know is going to be here. Why not ask me? Why not have that conversation with me? I could be there every week. I could be there. Man, remember XWA? XWA ran every week, Thursday night beatdown. I was there every week, Thursday night. For probably, and it sucks because I got there at the tail end. I got there when they knew they were closing up. They were closing up shop. But I got a good, 10, 12 matches out of that place. And it was, almost a good 3-4 month run of just, every week just being up there. And that was a 6-hour drive for me.
Wow.
Yeah, that was far, man. That was deep in Rhode Island. So it was I could commit to places that are farther away. I'm one of them old school guys. I was trained by Johnny Rods. If you don't know, now you know. Now currently under the wing of the SAT. But there's some good pedigree behind me, So I'm gonna be that guy that's gonna make the drives. I'm gonna be that guy that's gonna be there, reliable. I'm the workhorse. Just give it to me. Put it on my back. I'll carry the flag.
I was going to say, doing the drives, that is, as they say, that's part of the business, part of the game, if you will. Not afraid to do that. Hey, boys and girls out there that have the old pen and paper with the contracts and the stuff and the whatnot and the envelopes and all of that good stuff. Do a little reach out to one PJ Savage.
I'm here, man.
Okay.
I'll spice it up.
We pull the curtain a little bit on
Yeah,
SCP, okay? And
yeah, of
you
course.
already have. I mean, that was a great start pulling the curtain, but I mean, come on now. That's not where I was thinking we were going to start. But if we're going to pull the curtain back a little bit, there was a jam, if you will, in a tournament that was happening, and the said promoter was looking for a guy who, as I'll say the words, looks the part. Okay, big, mean, nasty. Give me some good shit in ring. Does he look professional? Does he sound like a beast? Is he gonna kick? Is he gonna make the fans feel for his opponent? Okay. I said I have one person in mind right now, and I have the very perfect person in mind. And he goes, "Who's that?" I said, "PJ Savage." I'll get him on board. Hopefully, I'll get him on board because I'm kind of scared of him. I'll get him on board, and if he gets in here, he will do his magic for you, and you will thank me after the show. Son of a bitch, if that's not exactly how it went, my friend PJ Savage, you showed up, you pulled up, you showed out, and then after the event, my man reached out and he said that is the best thing to happen to me and this promotion in a minute. Okay? So to pull the curtain back, let's be honest and true and transparent here. One time, first impression, the fans dug you, the promoter dug you. I feel there's something within PJ Savage in star quality. I say this on this without lying and kissing ass. Okay, we talk, we try to talk truth on STP, but we, without venting and naming names and doing all of that bullshit.
Yeah, we're not about airing dirty laundry. I'm not
No,
on
no,
that.
no,
I'm
no.
not a drama guy. I'm not a drama guy.
So I am not trying to kiss your ass. There is star quality, boys and girls, in one PJ Savage. If you don't know him, we will give the deets of his Pornhub and shit later on. But if you don't know of one PJ Savage, you've got to check this guy out because he makes an amazing first impression on the fans, first and foremost on us. And when he gets in the ring, this is before he even crawls through the ropes. Very vocal, very tells you what's up, with his character, if you will.
Yeah. You're going to see promos. You're going to see everything. You announce me. I don't care if you don't even ask me to cut a promo. You're going to get a promo because that's my brand. The brand, the logo, the YouTube show, everything. It's a brand. So you're going to get promos. You're going to get more than one. You're going to get me doing podcasts, at least 3-4 a week. I mean, I got literally 20 podcasts scheduled for May already. So it's like, and that's just like me lining up to make sure I can promote for certain promotions and things that I have lined up. I have big matches coming up. I have Homicide on the May 20th. So there's a lot of people that want to talk about that, and I want to talk about that. But that's just the brand, man. I don't care if I'm working. One of the guys that I got the pleasure of being in the locker room with, name was Pagano. He's a famous Mexican lucha libre wrestler. He's more of a deathmatch guy. There's Psycho Clown and there's Pagano, like they're kind of the opposite ends of the spectrum. But Pagano, I had a lot of respect for because he's just a crazy dude, man. And he came up to me and he told me in Spanish, it doesn't matter whether you get paid $5 or $500. You give your all out there. That's why I throw myself through glass. That's why I throw myself through the ring. I don't care how much they pay. They paid to see me. And that is my life's honor. So, like, that right there is something I carry with me. So, you're going to get the same PJ Savage, whether I'm facing Homicide or Don Kincaid. Like, it's going to be.
Hey, whoa, let's all calm down now. Wow, that escalated very quickly. Holy shit, my heart. You can't do that to me. I'm getting old, my man. Holy shit. I feel that analogy, if you will, because I know we've spoken previous. This is a return of one PJ Savage, and we've spoken about your upcomings and your training and all of that good stuff. But I correlate music and wrestling so much. It is so the same. It's just uncanny how the same it is. When I'm on stage, I would tell that to my guys. I would tell that to the recurring fans, the friends that would come to our shows and want to get up on stage and sing a little Dakin or get on the drums and play a little AC/DC, get on the guitar, play a little Metallica. I remember these memories as I'm just spitting them out right here on the fly. I just see them. But that was my analogy, my man. I've
Yeah.
played, and this is no bullshit. Pulling back the fucking curtain, this is no bullshit. The very first club we ever played for was part of our circuit. We would do like every other 8 weeks. 6 to 8 weeks was kind of our thing for this specific room. That was kind of our thing. You start rolling the schedule 6 to 8 weeks so you don't saturate. And the same thing with the wrestlers. You don't want to get too many of the
Yeah.
same area all the time.
You don't want to burn it out. You don't want to burn it out.
Right. Exactly. You don't want to oversaturate your brand, if you will. So our name was High Octane. We did the 80s hair band shit. And just, I don't know, just the environment. It doesn't matter because we made our return maybe a year or two down the road. We were together for about 6 years. And it was just one of those nights. There was a guy, just one, at the corner of the bar from set 1, 2, all the way to set 3. I shit you not. It was just one of those nights where there was one guy there, none of our friends, none of their base crowd. It just happens sometimes. You could be wrestling in front of 5 people. You just never know. But
You never know.
if I'm getting a quarter, a single little coin, a quarter at the end of the night, I kind of don't give a shit, to be honest with you, because I play my heart out every single show.
I'm gonna perform. Like that's just the moniker. That's me. If I ever show up somewhere, and then mind you, like I can, and this is a shitty thing to say, but I can understand the guys that are on contract that like come out and they'll still do indies and then they'll take a night off. I can understand that even to a degree where I can't understand it because that's just not me. But a guy like me who's not on contract, who's clamoring for a contract, how can I take a night off? Johnny Rod used to always tell me, man, you never know who's in the crowd. You don't know who's watching. You don't know who's going to see that clip. I can't take a night off. So I don't care if I'm working in front of one person, 5 or 500, man. You're going to get the same PJ Savage. The same.
Now, you did mention a big match you have coming up, and I wanted to talk about a specific match, but I'm going to push that aside and let's bring that because I wasn't aware of such. You're talking now, Homicide. First off, how is he still going the way he goes after all of these years in the business and what he's done in the business and what he continues to do as such? But your area specific, NYC. I mean, that guy's name is synonymous in the NYC area, and a few other areas. But NYC, that really Homicide. He's a staple. Okay.
He's on the Mount Rushmore of the New York City guys.
That he is. Now you have a match against a guy like Homicide who's made his name, who made not only a name in the industry, but he has a very certain respect about Homicide. He's one of those guys you don't hear bad words about. Homicide is one of those guys, he's a fucking maniac, period. But
he's one of the boys, though. He's one of the boys.
Very respected in the industry. Talk to us, the fans, about the seismic event of going against a guy like Homicide in your career.
I'm at a point right now where it's very few times that, and this isn't cockiness or arrogance, but I'm at a point now where it's very few times that I get a challenge. A lot of the times now I am the challenge out here. A lot of the times for other guys, when they face me, it's like, can I measure up to PJ Savage? He's synonymous with the main event. He's becoming a guy on the New York, New Jersey, Philly scene. He's like one of the staples out here now. The future, the up-and-comers. Can I hang with him? So it's very few times that I get the chance to be in the ring, and like now it's my turn to get back on this side of the curtain of I gotta prove it. And that feels good, man. And I really get what people say about you having to go out and go to different places to challenge yourself because it's all about you facing better talent. And it's 100% proof is in the pudding. That's exactly what it is. And it's a different mindset. Like not too long ago, me and Anthony Gangone had a match. Leading up to the match, it was just like, okay, myself, I know I'm better than Anthony Gangone. That's my mindset. You know what I'm saying? But there's a lot of people that are on his side of the camp that goes, can PJ measure up? And it tapped into that. I swear to you, it tapped into that. There was a moment behind the curtain where, so we're going to talk about all the other things in CPW and IWA and a lot of things that I've been doing recently. But I've been dabbing on the booker side. I've been going in on the promoter side of it and the training side of it and doing a lot of that stuff. So, because I need to challenge myself, I need to grow. I feel like I'm at a point where I'm not getting the opponents to help myself grow. Those are far and few in between. So I need to find other avenues to make sure I'm still learning and going in the right direction, making the best of my situation. So there was a moment where I was behind the curtain and I was hyped up, man. You know, Anthony Gangone has faced everybody. He's faced Johnny Gargano. He's faced TJ Perkins, Joe Gacy. He's faced half the NXT roster. He's faced Cody Rhodes. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's been there. He's been to the dance. He's been at that big high match on the indie level. And I can understand some people going, can PJ hang? So it woke up. It flipped a little bit of a switch, and then Monster Mac is behind me. And right before I'm about to go out, they're doing their little announcing and things like that. And he goes, who the fuck are you? Who are you? Promoter, booker, trainer? Who are you anymore? Are you that best wrestler on this fucking scene? Then show them. And like, it flipped the switch, brother. Like, it flipped the switch that, God, I'm getting goosebumps. I'm feeling it. I want to walk the curtain right now. It's just like, I am that motherfucker, you know? Like, I am the best on the scene. That's my bread and butter. Yeah, I'm training guys. Yeah, I'm promoting, booking, doing all this. Fuck that. I'm a wrestler. I want to sign a contract because I want to main event WrestleMania. Like, that's me. That is me at my core. There's nothing else to me. And he woke that up again. He smacked that beast up beside his head and was like, get all that shit out your head and prove to everybody you belong. And damn, man. And it was just in my head. And I said a few, and fuck it, I don't give a shit. I was like, fuck Johnny Gargano. Fuck Joe Gacy. Fuck TJ Perkins. Fuck Anthony Gangone. Fuck Cody Rhodes. Because it's mine. This is mine now. And them sirens hit right when I said that. And I went through the curtain and I woke up a beast. Now you see all that, and that shit could give you goosebumps. It gave me goosebumps. It hypes you up. Facing Homicide is 10 times more worse than that. Facing Homicide is 100 times that. It's 100 times that. It's turning the notch up to another level. We're all marks at heart. We all grew up watching wrestling. I grew up watching WWE, the Attitude Era. That's in the Monday Night Wars. I grew up in that. That's my era of wrestling. My first ever wrestling event was WrestleMania 10. Like, that's my era of wrestling. When I started to understand wrestling, I was watching Ring of Honor. I was watching Low Key. I was watching Monster Mac and Dan Math. I was watching Homicide and Daniel Bryan. I was watching that, and that's what really tapped into, I want to do this. I have to do this. I never forget it, man. In 2015, Jay Briscoe, Jay Lethal, Ring of Honor World Championship. And that match took over the scene. It took it over. It took over everything. It took over the wrestling world, not just the scene. And it blew my mind that two guys, not with the machine behind him. Yeah, you had some New Japan bleeding in on them. No Impact, no WWE, nothing. Just Ring of Honor, the indie with lights. And they took over, man. They took over, and that shit inspired me to become a wrestler. So the Ring of Honor title is something I'm dying to hold. Like, it's something that, like, I seriously want that Ring of Honor title. And to go against Homicide, who's synonymous with the Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Championship. That's what that match is for me. That match is me fighting for the Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Championship.
Sorry.
That's what that match is for me. That's PJ Savage coming out fighting for the ROH title. That's how huge it is for me. It's a measuring stick moment. And I cannot wait because I know what he brings to the table. I know what he does to wrestlers. And I am going to eat that fucking man alive. I cannot wait. I cannot wait to go to war with Homicide. Everybody thought I should be afraid of Dickinson. I stood toe-to-toe with Chris Dickinson when he was the man of New NJPW Strong, the American New Japan. And I stood in that ring and went toe-to-toe with him. And when we started going blow for blow, I was smiling because it was just like I knew at that moment I could hang with somebody that can go 100 miles per hour. You know what I'm saying? I'm watching the bloody kick pads, shit that I grew up watching at Beyond. And it was just like I'm looking at the kick pads and punching him in the face, and we're still going, sweat dripping down. We're on the 16th minute, and we're still going, and there's crowds into it. It's like, this is what I'm fucking bred of, you know? Like, this is what I'm made to do. Put me on the stage so I can deliver these matches. I want to go toe-to-toe with Samoa Joe. I want to go toe-to-toe with Claudio Castagnoli. I want to go toe-to-toe with Daniel Bryan. I want to look Daniel Bryan in his face and smack the shit out of him. Like, I'm feeling for it, man. I'm dying for it because there's a part of me that wants to be one of those guys. I know what road I'm on. I'm not a D1 athlete. I'm not going into the next level program. You know, like, I'm an indie guy. I'm Kevin Owens. I'm Adam Cole. I'm AJ Styles. I'm Daniel Bryan. I'm the indie guy. Yes, my ultimate goal is my dream, WrestleMania. But I know what road I'm on. I know what path I'm on. And it's the indie path. And the indie path is, you know, Ring of Honor. And wherever it takes me, and I know Ring of Honor is attached to AEW, and if I get the chance to step on that stage, I'm going to own it. I'm going to own it. You think MJF is good on the mic? He hasn't stood in the ring with me. And people could just say, oh, he's blowing smoke up his own ass. No, this is facts. I cut a 4.5-minute promo, dropped it yesterday, and had the most views and the most viewer retention on one of my videos in a long time. And I don't think a lot of people kind of got it. I had so many vets tell me never do a promo over a minute. I had so many vets go, never go over 2 minutes, brother. That's a sin. Never go over 2 minutes. I went 4.5 minutes and kept everyone's attention. That, come on. I'm telling you, given the chance to be on the mic on a big stage under some bright lights, I'm going to take the scene over. I'm going to take the wrestling world over. I just need the chance. That's it.
You've spoken with much passion, much excitement, much fandom still in your blood for wrestling. Not just not within the confines of what you're doing in your matches, but wrestling in general. Some of the guys and girls lose that over a course of time. PJ Savage is still sitting here very, very excited as a fan and as a professional wrestler at the same time. Your promos. Boys and girls, there's a word, and we're going to be talking about IWA, but there's a word called intense. You hit play, and it doesn't matter what day it is. It doesn't matter for what promotion it is. It doesn't matter who his opponent is. As soon as you hit play, the word intense has always come to my mind because the sirens, the audio and the visual, all at the same token. It's not just the visual and it's not just the audio. You're giving it all that when it comes to a promo, the package, if you will. If you are in possession of a belt and you're talking shit to somebody about that belt, it's over your shoulder. It's not off camera. It's not somewhere else. You represent, if you will. And yes, I know the formula is brother, never over 2 minutes. Never.
Yeah.
And I get that because, I mean, and nowadays, our attention span, not just wrestling fans, but people, the world, our attention span, well, mostly the United States, I should say, is just like this.
It's quick. We got the TikTok retention.
Right. When somebody hits play, usually the first thing that they look at is how long. They look right at the end of the run time to see how long that is. And if it's X long, they'll be like, oh, fuck. Or they'll be like, I'll check it out and see what happens, and they'll never even watch the rest of it.
Yeah.
So to circle back and to being able to keep the attention span of wrestling fans, wrestling peers for a promo that is well over double the amount of shame, brother,
Yeah.
I feel should say a lot on what you're saying, who you're talking about, maybe the said promotion. And it's always a different environment, which is really cool. Always a different environment. And I don't mean to be rambling, but take over with everything that I've just said about your promos, because again, not blowing smoke up his ass, my friends. Facts. If you watch it, you can see for yourself. Go ahead, my friend.
Yeah, no, like I mean, the promos, and I don't do the 2 minute promo over the 2 minute promo, do the 4 minute promo to be like, well, fuck those guys saying don't go over 2 minutes. No, there's a lot to that. The more I watched other guys' promos, and the first, for me, it's not even how long it is, because I'm on the other side of that guardrail, so I'm gonna watch everything no matter what. But for me, once they just don't sound believable, the moment that they start rambling or something, just like they start naming date, time, place, I'm gonna beat you up, brother. Make sure you're ready. And it's just like, really, man, like, come on, just be real, man. Like there's a couple guys under my tutelage that I'm helping out, and a couple guys came out to shoot promos with me, shut promos with a bunch of people, helped them out. And one of the guys pulled out a piece of paper.
Oh no!
Started reading from it, right? It's some guys who do this that can do this, and starts reading from his paper because he wrote his promo down. I grabbed the paper, crumbled it up, and threw it in the garbage. And I said, "Don't say anything that's on that paper." He goes, "But how do you do it?" I'm like, "It's all real." So if I'm working IWA this Saturday and I'm going against my former brother Jacko for the IWA Heavyweight Championship, use the real emotions. How do you feel about that? What's going through your mind? This is a real brother. Feel betrayed. But you know what? I'm the one who taught you how to wrestle anyway. So now I got to teach you another lesson. Boom, there goes a promo right off the top of the head. I'm facing Homicide, a Ring of Honor legend, an independent wrestler in the Hall of Fame. I get to go against the lineage, the history, the legacy, the Mount Rushmore, New York City. Now I get to put myself in front of that. So just use what's real. Use what's in front of your face. Use what's on the plate. And just be real. Hit your bullet points. Yes, of course, we got to say when it is, where it is, and what's the name of the promotion, because people don't know what it is. How can you cut such a great promotion and not say where it is or when it is or what promotion it's at? You can't do that, because then they're going to go, where's PJ Savage fighting Homicide? Like if I could go, oh, well, you know what, Homicide, cut the promo out of my life and then end it. Now you're going to ask questions. And now that's really where the TikTok retention comes in. Because how far are you going to dig down a rabbit hole just to see where I'm fighting? You're not. You're going to go, I'll come to his page at a later date. But if I could have that promo, I could be intense and talk about how much I watched Homicide from my standpoint, growing up and seeing him be one of the wrestlers that finally looked like me. Watching the television screen and seeing someone finally represent what I represent in New York City. I get to go against that on May 20th at the Highline Arena in New Jersey. I get to stomp those grounds, but I get to do it against a legend. I get to do it against somebody who represents the Mount Rushmore for Latinos, for people of New York City. And I get to do it in New Jersey, a place that he stomped his ground at, for Titan Championship Wrestling. You hear that word, Titan? That means it's Godzilla versus Kong. It's PJ Savage versus Homicide. That's what the feeling is. Now, that just came out my ass. You know what I'm saying? Because it's real. It's real. The promos are the easiest thing in the game. They're real. Dusty Rhodes and Ric Flair laid out that template in the 80s. Just follow the template when it comes to promos. Dusty and Ric Flair. That's all you got to do. It's very easy.
Boys and girls, take what he just did, that promo, take the intensity and turn it up to a gajillion. Take the volume of what he's speaking, turn that up to another gajillion, and you've got PJ Savage doing a promo right with us, sharing, bam, the feelings, the emotions, the storytelling. is right there, all within a minute.
Yeah, yeah.
It's all right there within a minute.
I want you to be invested, and that's my thing. So my whole aim with my brand and my character and everything I do is I aim towards the casual fan. I don't aim towards the hardcore independent fan. I feel like that person's already watching me.
Right.
So yeah, now you get to go along for the ride. Now you get to see me evolve. But how can I get this person standing right there in the corner to watch my stuff for the first time and actually be invested to want to go to a show? Like, how can I do that? So I studied a shitload of Mike Tyson. I studied a shitload of Conor McGregor and Stone Cold. Big name pay-per-view draws. Look up. All you got to do is go on Google who sold the most pay-per-views. Floyd Mayweather. How? Why? What was the feud that he had that sold the most pay-per-view buys? And Manny Pacquiao. Why? Because it was the best versus the best, and they didn't fight for a long time. So there you go. Pull that same story. Okay, me versus Lucas Chase. We haven't fought for 35 years. But he's been the best over in Connecticut, and I've been the best in New York City. Is he ducking me? You damn right he's ducking me. Am I ducking him? No, I've called him out for months on it. You know what I'm saying? It's easy, but that's the type of stuff that I studied just to get the promos there. So I took a lot of the Dusty and Ric Flair stuff because that taught me to be real. That taught me just to be the plumber's son, because that's what everybody gravitated towards. Plumber's son going against the rich blonde guy with the mink coat on, talking about he banged every girl that was at the show that night. That's real stuff, It's real stuff. Of course you hate that guy. You want to be that guy. None of us are that guy. So
aspiring wrestlers, if there is one set of eyes that are watching this interview, we're a half-hour deep right now. Over the past 10, probably we've kind of spent a little bit of time, but it's a very, very important tool in the toolbox of wrestling and singles wrestler. And we spent about 10, 15 minutes on this, aspiring wrestlers. I'm telling you, just rewind. Listen to this back one more time. If you've listened to this far, spin back, rewind, and listen to it one more time. I think all the information that Mr. Savage right now has given to us, the fans, as we try to learn about the talents that we have on STP, just gave a invaluable lesson about promos right here on STP. You're a beautiful soul, my man. And
thank you,
it shows, again, we circle back to passion, excitement, fandom of wrestling, the industry, and what it does for you and what you want to WrestleMania, being on that big, the grandeur that it is. Now, we have definitely spent a solid half hour on one PJ Savage, and we can keep going on one PJ Savage, but there's a couple more topics we need to speak upon. And, yourself and the fans that watch, they can listen to me yap for so long. So I want to talk about IWA intensity.
Yeah.
One match specifically, and then we can continue about IWA intensity after that. You may know where I'm going. Look at that beautiful smile. The promo with the belt, the love for one Ryan Frost. But you know what? You're in my sights now. You got in my business. I'm taking it to you. You better be ready. You're a big guy. I don't care how big you are. I got your number no matter what, because I'm the big dog around here. I got the strap, and I'm telling you so in this promo. My eyes saw it. My ears heard it. Eloquently put. Told the story in a matter of a minute and a half to 2 minutes, if you will. Watch the match through, if you will. Now, I want to point out, and I know this is about Mr. PJ Savage, but the up and over of one Ryan Frost, when my eyes saw that up and over, the spring like a gazelle, the bounce when he went over you, the roll when he touched the mat, and then he gave you that shoulder tackle, gave you his eyes. Just that alone made me pop as a Ryan Frost fan right through the fucking ceiling. Holy shit, agile like a cat.
Yeah.
what Ryan Frost is. And again, not to take away from PJ Savage and his in-ring
Oh no, that
abilities.
man brought it that night. That's why I went after them legs. That's what happened.
My eyes, my brain was just like on overload watching you two go against each other because I love me some PJ Savage and I love me some Ryan Frost. But picking out a few things, your punches, they come very wide, they come very purposeful, if you
Yeah.
will, and they come with a lot of. I know you said you have some love for one Ryan Frost, but when he's
There's a lot of
across from
bad
you,
intentions behind those
there's a
punches.
lot of hate or something. Yeah, there's a lot of bad intentions
Yeah.
behind these clubbings. So I noticed that your swings are just so wide and grandeur, like a I don't know, a condor, if you will, big, wide, boom. Also, I noticed anybody that goes against you, just standing in the ring, punching against you, just not a good idea. And I know Ryan Frost got a little something, something on his own self, but I
Yeah.
mean, let's be real with that. But you guys told a story, and my man Ryan Frost, his knee was hamburger all the way through this thing, just about.
I had good
And
times.
with um, it takes two to tango in that ring, along with the referee, obviously. We don't talk about him,
We
but
had
it
one
takes two.
for a referee.
Well, whatever. It takes two to tango, and to tell that story, it takes both of you. And me as a fan, I saw it. I felt it. I was with you guys on that ride. Hated the results because you took the W. Sorry. But I was on that ride for the match, and I appreciate it as a fan. Please talk to us about that match against Ryan Frost.
So to pull back the curtain, man, that match, I've wanted that match for a long time. It had to be under the right circumstances. Um, I had the title at IWA. It made sense.
Okay.
Um, I would love to be his first opponent when he wins the Test of Strength Championship. I would love to do that. Um, I have a lot of respect for Ryan Frost. He's a good brother. He's someone where I was trying to make trips to wherever the hell I was making them, and he always provided a ride. Even back to the XWA days, he said, meet him in Connecticut, and he'll drive me the 4 hours. Like, he was just a good brother. Um, Whew. Me and him have a connection in Big Jim Anderson. Big Jim was a good brother to me. Me and Big Jim were supposed to be tag team partners down in New York. And a couple months before the show where we were going to win the titles, Big Jim sadly passed away. And I never forget the first time me and Big Jim actually did something together. Ryan was in the crowd. And I never forget it. He was just looking at Big Jim like, oh, my boy's finally got, like he could tell me and him had something. He could tell me and Big Jim we were going to do something cool. And mind you, that was probably the first time I ever saw Big Jim Anderson, right? That day, that show, they put him with me, and I'm a singles guy. I walked in, they're going to put you with this guy. You know what? Let me talk to him. We talk. I was like, I fucking love this guy. This guy's funny as hell. He's a fucking sweetheart, big motherfucker, but he's a fucking teddy bear, you know? And he was down for it all. We meshed. We played off of each other. And that's so huge. Like, as wrestlers, to play off of each other, you truly become brothers because that means your chemistry. And there's something in the spiritual world of professional wrestling that has you two linked together. And oh, man. We, of course, after that, I go do my 100 indie promotions. He goes, does his. Big Jim would hit me up at least twice a week. Just check in. Good brother. It's a good brother. And I got to know Ryan more through him. And when everything went down, of course, it was tough. The tournament you spoke of, that was for Big Jim. And I had a double booking that day. And it was like, I don't give a shit what anyone says. I'm going to this tournament. And a lot of people that are close to me, they know what Big Jim means to me. Ryan knows that. Ryan means a lot to me. So that match was in the works just for Big Jim.
Mm.
That was for Jim. There's a reason Q was in that ring. There's a reason. There was a reason for everything. And I didn't even tell that to Ryan because I didn't want him to think he was getting opportunities because of said thing, you know? He came into a couple IWA shows and worked his ass off. He did tapings before this, and he was always trying to come through, come by. I was helping him out, give opportunities down here, and he was helping me get opportunities out up there. He got me onto the Test of Strength shows. He got me onto a whole bunch of things, man. My first match at Test of Strength was against him. And so like there was a lot of mutual respect there, and I was like, this makes sense. There's enough power behind me here at IWA, and he's just an imposing figure. And he came off right off of not winning the Test of Strength championship, and he was over as a motherfucker, and it was like, I gotta pull the trigger now, so that way I can repay the favor.
Okay.
You know, and we did it. I didn't tell him the whole gist behind everything, and the match ended. The one thing I didn't like about it, just because of I knew how important the match was for me, was having him roll out and then doing the business proceeds, me and Jacko standoff. Wrestling contest, yes. Context, it makes sense because of where it was heading. It's heading to me and Jacko Saturday. So yeah, to tie Monday Night Raw together, you got to do that. But when the camera stopped rolling, I said some words, he said words, and there wasn't a dry eye in the building. It was pretty intense.
I wish, I really do wish, because that was as soon as the match ended, and excuse me, you got the 3, Q grabbed the belt. I would have put every cent that I have in my pocket, and I'm telling you that's not a whole lot, but I would have spent every single cent betting that you and Ryan would have hugged at the end of that match.
That was supposed to be, if you go back and watch that at the end, after I pin him, you see my head go next to his head. And of course, brothers, you know, like let him know, because I knew business had to proceed. But the moment the camera went off, I was like, fuck this Jacko shit. I got something to say. And it went into that direction. But I'm glad the way it played out, because now we get to tell another story.
Right.
And somewhere down the line, I will repay that favor to him.
I loved watching it as a fan of both of you. That was definitely a highlight for me to see you two specifically, because of the whole circle that you were just speaking about with one Big Jim. 2 more things I want to speak on about that match before we move on. He made a comment when I shared some PJ Savage was going to be on SCP tonight. Yeah, Ryan Frosted. Tell him I want a no strikes wrestling match and see what happens.
That'd be interesting.
This dude knocked 3 of my teeth. Wait, knocked 3 out of my mouth, knocked 3 teeth out of my mouth, and the NFL called to pay me hush money so I won't admit I have concussions. That seems a whole lot going on right there with one Ryan Frost and the request of.
That's a Big Jim match, baby. We're going to get in there. There's going to be potatoes. There's going to be bricks. We're going to beat the hell out of each other. And then at the end of the night, we're going to go to the bar and give each other the biggest hug in the world. Fix some shitty music. Like, that's just the love we got for each other, man. Everybody knows. If you're in there with me, you're going to be in there for like one hell of a fight. Like, I'm, the hell out of here. I'm the guy who throws a steak in the middle. It's 2 dogs. We're fighting, baby.
I'm sorry I stumbled over that. I get, I get a little stumbled at times. But second thing about that match, I see we talk about evolution of character, of the way you present yourself. Your gear may change. You may carry a prop in a couple months down the road. You never know what the wrestlers will do for an evolution, if you will. But not only do you guys evolve, we, the fans, we also evolve. And I've noticed that there's been something going on with Mr. Savage and the fans. There's been a chant lately, and I didn't make this up. This don't shoot the messenger, boys and girls. His name is PJ Savage. I would never say this to him. Maybe we'll see. We'll see if never. I would never say this to him. But the fans are now chanting PJ Average. PJ Average. Yes, average, not savage. Average. What the hell's going on there? When did this take a life on its own? Because it has taken a life on its own. Talk to us about this.
Nutley, New Jersey is a piece of shit town.
Oh, okay.
Like there's just some horrible people there. There's a lot of loose teeth in the crowd. It reeks of whatever it reeks of.
Okay.
It smells like a Sopranos episode. It's bad. Like it's just horrible. Everywhere else, I go to Titan Championship Wrestling. I go wrestle all over Connecticut, wrestle New England, get cheered. I go to Invictus Pro, which runs in New York, and I'm like John Cena. I go to the IWA, and because I've been champion for almost a year and a half, they want to see new blood. It's that famous old Batman line. Yeah. Either you die the hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. And oh man, they're so behind Jacob. They're so behind him. They call him the main event Jacko. Man's never even had a main event yet. It's you know what I'm saying? It's like, oh God, I know where it's coming from. And then they put me, and I had a match against Osito, little midget bear. And, he's got the love of the people. And then I took some liberties and broke his nose in front of his grandmother and got really happy about it.
Wow.
And that was a shoot. That was a shoot, man. That was a shoot. Broke his nose. I heard the pop. I heard the crunch on my knee. And then I crawled him over to his grandmother. Look what I did to him. Want to boo me? Want to call me average? This isn't average, So there's that vicious, intense side that could come out. And I remember when I first hit the scene, I was a tweener. What that means is basically you could be a good guy or a bad guy. I could go either way. I'm still that. Just because now I got some respect and admiration and I get cheered at some places does not mean that switch is still back there, that I could be a sick individual and be very volatile and very Randy Orton-esque, where it's just it's a snake in the grass, and I'm gonna be a little crazy on it, So that side still exists, and the IWA fans are bringing that out of me. So Jacko's gonna be victim to that this Saturday. I will say this: you get main event PJ everywhere I go. You get that at IWA. You get that at the Titan. You get that everywhere I work at Invictus Pro. All of that. This Saturday is going to be the most vicious PJ Savage I've seen in a long time. I train Jacob Torres. His name's not Jacko. I trained him. You know what that means, Don Kincaid? You're wearing tests of strength on your hat, right? You know what it is to be in a dojo setting. Me and him trained together. We were from Gleason's gym where I was head trainer. I trained all of them. Johnny didn't lay a hand on them. I did. I was the trainer. Of course, with Johnny's guidance. But with that being said, I taught him how to be a wrestler. You know how I taught him how to be a wrestler? I fucked him up.
Oh, wow.
Bad. I taught him how to sell. I taught him how to register. You know how you teach them how to do those things? You hit them for real. You show him what it really feels like. So he gets it. That's how I was trained. That's how the Devons of the world trained me, the Matt Strikers, the Johnny Rods. That's how they trained me. Put you in the ring, they turn your neck that way. Slick Wagner Brown probably knows a lot about that. You know what I'm saying? How many guys in that ring and he's probably decimated just to make sure if they would come back the next day.
Mhm.
That's what I did to Jacob Torres. And now he wants to call me average. He wants to, come for the idea. It's not about the belt for me. It's about the main event. It's about being the guy. That's why I said I'm going to show him what it's like in my world. In my world, I'm the guy. In my world, I am the main event. I am the center of attention. Not because I put the spotlight on myself, because the fans put it on me. He doesn't know what that is. So I get to welcome him in. He's going to have a lot of nerves. He's going to be hyping himself up. It's going to be WrestleMania for him. And when he walks into that ring, I'm going to break his jaw.
Oh, wow.
When he walks into that ring, I'm going to hit him places he forgot that he could get hit at. All legal strikes. You ever got kicked as hard as you can, right at the top end of your hamstring? No. You ever had someone purposely give you Charlie horses on your bicep? You ever had someone twist your neck just because they wanted to see if it could go a certain way? No.
I have.
I do that. And that's what I'm going to proceed to do to Jacko. I'm going to hurt him. I'm going to decimate him. I'm going to teach him a lesson. I'm going to show him he is my bitch. And I am not PJ Average. I am PJ fucking Savage. Believe me, there's a reason I could walk around with this on my shirt and put this as my brand, and people not call me Macho Man, and people not call me a joke, because I turned the Savage name into its own brand. Something that was synonymous with Macho Man Randy Savage. I took his last name and made it a brand. That brand came from intensity, passion, and a whole lot of violence, which you will see this Saturday.
This seems to be a full circle story.
Yeah, sure does.
Before you lay any of that smackdown on me that you just spoke of, because that is why I am on the other side of the guardrail, my friend. And we've been talking for almost an hour, and there's been a very, very important topic that I've wanted to speak upon. One of the main reasons, besides PJ Savage, the topic of. There's something out there. New federations pop up. Pop. Not all of them stay. Most of them don't stay because they just can't find their home, their niche, if you will. So it's a struggle to start a promotion. But the ones that do persevere, they seem to be doing fairly well for themselves. Using Titan as an example, they came out of nowhere. Bam! Look at them. They're one of the promotions that the guys and girls want to go to.
On this side of town, yeah.
There is something that has been born, if you will, from the mind of, if I going out on a limb, and correct me if I am wrong on any of this, born out of the mind of one PJ Savage. And we have a partner in crime, and we've had him on SCP, but he had like a beautiful Yukon Jack type beard on him. He was gorgeous with a furry face, but not that he's gorgeous now. One, Johnny Moran. Don't call him the man, Johnny Moran. And you guys have come together, if I'm not mistaken again, along with Titan Championship Wrestling under this umbrella. And you have come up with CPW, Chosen Pro Wrestling. Am I correct on everything I've said so far?
Yeah. Johnny Moran is not to take any credit from him. He's one of the agents of the brand. He's gonna help me. When I was CPW is my brainchild, and
Okay.
it's been around, been through people's mouths, and a lot of people have, some very few select, but people have known about this. And when Titan said they wanted to do it under their umbrella, I was all for it, but I needed people from the Titan brand, and I needed some help can't do this shit by myself. I'm still a
Right.
full-time wrestler. I'm still trying to sign contracts. And if I get offered a contract tomorrow, I'm going to sign it. So where does that leave CPW?
Mm-hmm.
So Johnny Moran is a man that I trust that brand in his hands because he's with me.
Okay.
He's following with me. So the whole inception of this brand took place a couple months back. I want to say 4 or 5 months back. Billy Fetsky, the owner of Titan Championship Wrestling, he saw what I've been doing at certain promotions by helping out and doing booking and creative. I have a mind for it. Again, I study guys like Paul Heyman, Dusty Rhodes. Those are guys that I study. So there's a creative token back there. When it's all said and done, I wish to open up my own school, and if I could be a part of Creative for Raw or have my own promotion, I would be very happy. In my 50s and 60s, doing that type of stuff. So he knew that was the tap in. He knew that was where it was going. So he was like, if you was to do a promotion, what would you do? It like, what would be the message behind the brand, especially right now? And I told him I wanted something to be NXT-esque. What I mean by that is I feel like there's no kind of NXT for the independent scene. If somebody comes out of Test of Strength dojo, how do they get bookings? They don't know. They have to go through their trainers. If they come out of Gleason's gym where there's no help, you finish up and you like want to go out and hit the indies, no one points you in the right direction, and some of the guys that do point you in the wrong direction.
Mm.
When I first hit the indie scene 2 years ago, I was fresh out of Johnny Rods, didn't have nowhere to go, had to go to different tryouts and different things. None of it was working, wasn't getting bookings until I ended up at this tryout from Invictus. They told me to go to Titan Championship Wrestling's Free for All, $5 tryout in Delaware. I was told that the night before. I was like, yeah, I'll go. So I went to this Free for All, and it was an actual legit promotion. I got chances out of it. I got booked on every show after that and became their first ever tag team champion. So I kind of wanted to keep that mix. I wanted to be able to give people an avenue to get onto the scene. So when Chosen came up, it was like, all right, Chosen Pro Wrestling, NXT for the Indies. But how do we make it the NXT for the Indies? Because if it's just next stop is Titan, it's just a Titan brand.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I had to get other promotions to work with us. And that's when it finally took off. Because then we had the owner and promoter from Invictus Pro Wrestling, Alex Excetta, say he wants to be on board. We were going to hold a tryout called the Free for All 2. And at this tryout, we was going to pick the roster, but we needed promotions to be on board to give people incentive to come. So Pro Wrestling Magic was involved. Wrestling Is Now by the Maximos, they were involved. We Are Wrestling, Pete Rosato, they were involved. The Funhouse, there were so many other promotions. We Are One. There's so many promotions around from this side of town that was involved with the tryout. So I approached all of them from the tryout and said, hey, look, be a part of the brand. So We Are One, the guy who's won in We Are One, Daniel Alexander, is now an agent for Chosen. So what does that do? Now he's an agent for Chosen. So if he sees talent, he gets to pick up one of those people and go, hey, do you want bookings at We Are One? It's an avenue. Alex Aceta, Invictus Pro Wrestling, is now the commentator for Chosen Pro Wrestling. So what does that do? Alex Aceta now puts Invictus Pro Wrestling storylines into Chosen Pro Wrestling because I'm there. Not only that, now a guy can come out of Chosen Pro Wrestling and have a gateway into one of the hardest promotions to ever get into, Invictus Pro Wrestling. Pete Rosato, the promoter for We Are Wrestling. He's the head announcer for Chosen Pro Wrestling. So that's another avenue, same kind of aspect. And then we got Monster Mac, the Titan head guy, producer, and everything. He's in that Chosen show and Chosen locker room at all times. So it's avenues for guys to get book places. And I'm not even just talking about guys that are fresh out Gleason's and the Test of Strength dojos and the battle clubs trying to get bookings. I'm talking about the guys that have been around for 5, 6 years and don't know how to get booked out on this side part of the town. You know what I'm saying? I remember I had a conversation with Ichiban and Miracle Generation, Dustin and Kylon. For some reason, they're not getting booked though out here in New York and New Jersey. That blows my mind. What? But again, I kind of get it because I'm not getting booked in New England. I get it. Like I see that this, I'm like, okay, you're just me from that side of the town. I get it, but damn, like look at the talent, independent wrestling tag team champions. Ichiban, he's probably one of the best guys out on the scene. If it wasn't for me, he's number two. He's number one. But like he's from the number two. he's cut from that cloth. You know what I'm saying? And I remember at Wrestling Is Now, we all had a talk because we was in the same locker room finally again. And they was like, they knew about Chosen. They was like, that's pretty dope. And I was like, you guys want on? And they was like, yeah.
Hell yeah.
So you're going to see them, and I'm dropping the surprise to you and your audience. You will see Miracle Generation. You will see Ichiban at a Chosen Pro Wrestling show coming up. Prince Ahmed is hardly getting booked out here. You will see Prince Ahmed June 10th on Chosen Pro Wrestling.
We talk about Ichiban on SDP. He's a synonymous on this show. A guy like Prince Ahmed, he's never been interviewed. He's not interested in interviews. I've been trying so hard, boys and girls. You just don't know.
I could get it done. I'll get it done for you. I'll get it done. I got you. I get it done.
Wow.
How's this though? You see those two names? You said Ichiban and Prince Ahmed.
Uh-huh.
How's that for a main event?
And then,
How's that?
Because Prince Ahmed, I try to push as one of the most innovative, not only guys on the independent scene, just in wrestling alone. Very, very innovative, this one Prince Ahmed. I know he's on OVW and he does his traveling and such, but still a name that is not
it's not out
enough.
as much as it should be.
Yes,
it's not getting the recognition that he should be. So now it's about, and then the best part about it was, so he was around for the first show that we had this past Saturday. He was helping me out with some of the matches, being an agent. And the best part that brought a smile to my face is that I got to see Prince Ahmed and Alex instead talking to each other in the corner. And it's like, haha, somebody's coming to Invictus. But that's what Chosen's supposed to be about. That's the point of Chosen Pro Wrestling. I get an Ichiban to come out and look at all these guys and go, all those promoters and everybody around me go, Ichiban should be on Titan. Oh, you're looking for a tag team? Miracle Generation. There's a tag team out here called The Audacity, running it up, getting bookings all over New York, New Jersey. Why you can't put in Audacity versus Miracle Generation? And that's the one thing that I'm not going to gatekeep. And it makes me excited about running my own promotion and not having any handcuffs. I'm the booker. I create the card. If I ever want to step on the match, I can. I'll refrain from it. Only for the right reasons, I'll do it. I will never hold gold in my own company. Never. I will never hold the title. But I'm tired of going places like Test of Strength and knowing Mike Skyros is there. Why is Mike Skyros facing Joe Schmo and I'm facing Joe Schmo? Joe Schmo should be facing Joe Schmo and Mike Skyros should be facing PJ Savage. I go up to PAPW, XWA. PJ Savage should be facing Kylon. You know what I'm saying? Ichiban should be facing PJ Savage. Ichiban should be facing Ahmed. And all those other names that we threw out. Why can't you have those kind of matches out here? And those you need to build up to them. No, that's horseshit. Why can't the first little moniker in their storyline be the match? Let them go out. I remember, so I booked my main event, my first ever main event, was Nikolai White. One of the most talented guys out here, just not getting seen. And that guy can go, and he's from Harlem, and I'm a Harlem guy. So, of course, I was just like, no, I get to see talent. I'm putting talent where it deserves to be. Michael Fane, someone who I was supposed to be in a feud with at IWA, had problems with the, just the hierarchy and things didn't fall through. Now he's back and now we got to wait. Why jump through hoops? Michael Fane's in my main event. Then we have Trey Felipe, who's running roughshod at Pro Wrestling Magic with Los Unidos and playing second fiddle to Steve Pena and all those guys. I'm like, hold on, that guy's a fucking star. There's something there. You can tap into that. Okay, it's in my main event too. Main event, Nikolai White, Michael Fane, and Trey Felipe. And when I tell you, on paper, it was fuck yeah, that's an awesome main event. But you know what's the best part about that, Don? The pressure. The pressure of walking in and going, PJ Savage versus Anthony Gangone is the main event. Poster goes out. Oh my God, what a match that's going to be. Can't wait to see it. Everybody texting me for months and weeks going, I can't wait to see it, can't wait to see it. Pressure. So, of course, you put together a bang of main event, make sure everybody's talking about it, all their friends and the family and their peers going, wow, what a match. Pressure. And I knew they felt it. But that's what I thrive on. That's what I am. So if I'm going to have my own promotion, I want my fingerprints to be all over it. The promos have to be it. The intensity has to be there. The passion has to be there. The pressure has to be there because that's the pressure I put on myself. And I never forget the first locker room meeting. We're all talking. You're going to see it on the episode of Savage Season. We're all talking. And I look at Michael Fane. I look at Trey Felipe. And I look at Nikolai White. In the main event, I know you feel the pressure. Own it. Be happy you're in that position. And then I looked at the roster. And I looked at each and every one of them. And I said, you know what we're going to build here? We're going to build the future of this business. How we do that is how we act in the locker room. How we act in the locker room is dog eat dog. But we respect each other. We uplift each other. But I'm going to take your ass out if you're in front of me. So, with that being said, everybody's sitting right here. And that main event's right there. Hate them. Pissed off it ain't you. And tonight you're going to have a better match than them. You're going to make them look like shit. And then I looked at the main event and I said, you heard what I just told them? Show them why you're in the main. Because, oh my God, and it just built more pressure on top of pressure. And it's like, I want to see if you're going to break. I want to see if you're going to fold. I want to see it because that's what I've been built on. When I faced Chris Dickinson, it was sink or swim. When I faced Bobby Lashley, it was sink or swim. When I was put in front of all these names, it was sink or swim. So let's see you sink or swim. And they delivered. And, oh, God damn, it was one of the most proudest moments I had. It was just like, fuck, man, this is why people are trainers. This is why people do this end of it. Is it something that I love and that I want to do forever? No. Because one of the things that I took away from just being on that side of the guardrail, being a promoter, you don't get the adrenaline hit.
As a performer.
Yeah, you don't. When you walk through the curtain, when I walk through a curtain, everybody knows how I hype myself up and what I bring to the table. I'm still buzzing on the car ride home. I'm still buzzing when I walk into my house 3-4 hours later and my little 3-year-old son Lucas wants to have a match with me and I go, one more match. And I wrestle my 1-year-old son on the bed. We have a cage match. That night, at past Saturday, I was handing out envelopes and I was falling asleep. You don't get that adrenaline hit. You don't get that notch of just like, you're just on that low. And when the show ends, you're one of the fans. You want to go home. You don't want to go to sleep. You know what I'm saying? You're like, damn, man. I just sat here, yelled, and marked out. I want to go home and go to sleep and do it again tomorrow. Like, it's just a different aspect of the business. And I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all. It was like,
And game day for a promoter is never relaxing.
It's a different animal.
Relaxing. But that's what happens, I think. You just get so kind of worn down because this has been going from the night previous. You probably didn't sleep much, and then you're up in the morning. You're like, holy fuck.
Previous to that, you're looking at ticket sales. You're looking at all these things. You're looking at number crunching. You're going, is this a win or is this a failure? We maybe broke even. And I looked at the wrestlers and I'm like, we failed. Because from that standpoint, you failed. And I told the wrestlers this in the locker room meeting. it's so easy for me to be a wrestler. I'm on autopilot now. And, like all I gotta do is out promo all of you. All I gotta do is out wrestle all of you. All I have to do is just make that impact once I come out the curtain. That shit is easy for me now. It's something I could do in my sleep. I could be knocked out on my bed, buzzing. Somebody hit the sirens and say, "Walk through a curtain." Somebody's about to wrestle you on the outside. It's on. You know what I'm saying? I can turn it on. That's the easiest thing for me. But being a promoter, and it's like you're weeks on end just worried about it. The day before, is the ring set up? Is everything there? What's missing? Who didn't show up? What's going on? Is the card staying the same? I got to time out a show. I got to do all these things, and it's just like, I remember sitting there watching, writing my first board. Big Invictus. Alex brought the famous Invictus whiteboard.
The big
Show
board.
love, the big whiteboard, and I got to write my matches and put my time and everything. And Ahmed's helping me time out the show, and it was cool. It was a cool little homage. And then for me, not for nothing, I'm super young in the game. So for me I'm having some success on the independent level right now. Titan Championship Wrestling, having major success, got Homicide. I was supposed to wrestle Chavo Guerrero, and that's happening soon. I got a bunch of other big names just on the horizon, and it's coming up that I can't announce yet. I'm wrestling this weekend. I wrestle IWA, and then I'm making a surprise back at another place on Sunday.
Okay.
Then next week, I get to wrestle Invictus on Friday. I leave Invictus Pro Wrestling. I'm in the main event. Big Ben Bishop for the Social Media Championship. Big old 7-foot Big Ben Bishop and me for the Social Media Championship in the main event in the Bronx, hometown. Right after that match, you know what I'm doing? I'm hopping on a plane and I'm going to Puerto Rico. And I'm wrestling Saturday in Puerto Rico and Friday in Puerto Rico. Then I come back home Monday, take a little bit of break, and then I wrestle again back Friday and Saturday.
Wow.
I'm having some success. I'm lucky, like there's some Japan stuff that might be happening. I'll put it out on here. PJ Savage in Japan is looking pretty close.
Wow.
Pretty close. Yeah, so there's some cool stuff happening. I'm having some success, and it's coinciding with doing the promoter stuff. And everybody, if you don't know now, I'm the one that writes the whole show for Intensity for IWA. So, and then we just broke 3,000 views on one video, and that's fucking huge for us. From first episode debuting at 200, 300 views to work that all the way up to catch up. Well, mostly every video is at 1,000 views now. And then the second to last episode is at 3.3, and then the last episode's about to hit 2K, and it just came out 2 days ago. That's some cool stuff. So I'm having, like different type of success. I'm like this writer, and I'm seeing the success happen. I'm like, okay, well, people are entertained by my stories. And then I'm having the show, and everybody's the fans literally walked out the show, and they were like, this is the best show I've been to in a long time. And it's like, well, damn, I put on one hell of a show as a promoter. And then I'm having this match that everybody's hyped up about on Saturday. And it's like, this is the life I want to live. There's nothing else I'd rather do in my life. But there's no mistake about it. I'm a professional wrestler. Mm-hmm. It's all said and done, and then I get the take off the boots. I'll continue. Believe me, I'm always going to be in the business. I'll write. I'll be in the booking. I'll have my own promotion, whatever the case may be. CPW might even be bigger than what it is, and I'll still be there. But that wrestler in me, that guy is a monster. He's a savage. Yeah.
I've seen it. I've seen it firsthand. The way you speak about being a professional wrestler, about some of the goals you've spoken of, about CPW itself. There's just right now, today, what is it, the 17th, 18th, April 18th are we at right now, 2023?
Yeah.
Could I go out on a limb and say right now, on this date, PJ Savage is probably having some of the most fun he has in his entire career, and seems to be at a really, really good place professionally, right now?
Yeah, for sure. This is great, but it's great because I feel like I'm on the road that April 18th, 2025 or 2024, PJ Savage is going to be signed.
Okay.
So that makes me happy because I don't and I don't do it for the money. People that know me, that have worked with me, promoters that know me that have worked with me, I don't care about the money. I don't. I care about giving me a good match. Let's put on a show. Don't put me with Joe Smo. Let's do something good. Let's do something. Let's make people remember this shit. And if it could be a main event and it could be something big and we could build upon it, then shit, I'm all in. You know what I'm saying? I'm all in. But I feel like I'm getting hotter and hotter to become a commodity.
All right.
And that's what makes me happy, man. It to become a commodity and when they put pen on paper. So that way I could take all that money. I never forget what Kevin Owens said. It's like he was on the Indies for 16 years and got everything in the first 3 months. He got paid tenfold than what he got on 16 years in the Indies, just 3 months being in WWE. I'm gonna take all that money and just give it to my family and just be happy, watch them go crazy, and then I can go, holy shit, I get paid to become a wrestler. I get paid to do this shit, you know? Like that's what I'm dying for. I can't wait for it.
Your excitement goes down the chain, if you will, to the younger talent coming up in CPW. And it's not only about the younger talent, like you said. It's for everybody, but it's even for the older guys that just may not get the chance, that don't get the eyes on them, that probably should, that are
It was
say,
there was 3 guys on that show that were 10 years plus in, 10 years plus
okay,
in, and they got their due diligence. They got put on the show, got put in decent matches, spotlight storylines, and I worked with them. I'm not gonna discriminate age, weight, size, height, skin color. I don't give a shit. You want to be a wrestler? You think you have something coming out that career? Now, if you don't have something, I'm gonna tell you don't have something, and then we're gonna try to figure it out. I'm not gonna just be like, oh no, you're the shits. I gotta move on.
right. But
That's
your
different.
excitement, your excitement has trickled down, because I'm going to name two names. You've mentioned one, Michael Fain. I don't know him personally. I've never seen him live. This will be somebody new for me as a fan. I'll be seeing him this Sunday at Bay State Championship Wrestling, going against one Lucas Chase, if I'm not mistaken. The Cure.
Michael Fane's different, man. It's a good guy. It's CPW right there.
Okay, we'll have to we'll have to see how our relationship is by the time we leave BCW. And the other name that I want to point out that has the excitement, as I'm speaking of, the younger talent, one Fly Nine Noriega, along with Fly Nine Noriega, is this Edric Cash, who is something in his own right. I know he doesn't get in ring at this point, but together, collectively, they are called Paid in Full. CPW and PJ Savage, I'm telling you right now, personally, I love seeing it because got them excited as wrestlers, got them excited as wrestling fans, got them excited because it's something new in the industry that could be something, and they get to be part of it. And it's a guy like you taking a chance on a couple kids like one Fly Nine Noriega and Edric Cash. Please
Yeah.
speak upon those two.
Jesus Christ, I can't say enough good. Fly Nine Noriega is en route to be the first CPW heavyweight champion.
Wow.
He's on that road. He's on it. It's between him and maybe 3 or 4 other guys. He's on that road. Um, Jesus Christ, I can't say enough good things about him. All right, so I brought him down for IWA. I remember seeing him at Invictus not Invictus, Test of Strength a couple times. Watching what he does and PAPW, a couple other promotions, and just seeing
Yep.
that. I was like, there's some untapped there. There's something there. I always had my eye on him. Then I started to take some reins at IWA, so same thing. I was like, well, like I did with Frost, like I did with guys that always looked out me and respectful to me. I was like, let me reach out and bring him in. Q is the head ref at IWA now.
Okay.
So I was like, I reached out to Fly Nine. I was like, look, come down for opportunity, and I'll make something happen. He came down. Now he's booked this Saturday at IWA.
Nice.
So, it was like, it was there. It was there. And then I asked him, I was like, can you make a tryout? This is the sticking point for a lot of guys. When I was First hit in the Indies, I already wrestled Willie Mack, Bobby Lashley, Psycho Clown, La Parker Jr., Skade, wrestled so many names. I got told to go to a tryout and was like, yep, I'm in it. There's so many other guys on the other side of that coin that just goes, nah, I'm better than that. I don't want to do a tryout. I'm better than a tryout unless it's a tryout for a big company. And I understand that mindset, but damn, you're holding yourself back because you're gonna put yourself in a room full of hungry dudes. And if I want to go to a tryout in WWE, you got to go through a couple tryouts. You got to trial by error, feel what it's like to be in that environment. So that was also my mindset. So that set me apart from a lot of people. Fly Night is one of those guys that could have turned me down. Oh, I'm already doing stuff at IWA. Why don't you just bring me into CPW? A lot was there. And mind you, the offer to bring him straight into CPW was on the table. He showed up to the tryout and showed out. And we had something called the Chosen 10, which was the top 10 from the tryout and will be the focus of the company going forward because there's a documentary being made on the company.
Okay.
And he made the top 10. He was probably top 5. And not being called first, I could tell, put a chip on his shoulder. And I was like, that's hungry.
He's like,
Hungry. That's hungry. You know what I'm saying? There's a beast in there, and it doesn't need to be tamed. It just needs to be told where to unleash it at. And he was gonna have a match on the first Chosen show, and I forgot who his opponent was gonna be. It's gonna be just a random guy, and it was just gonna be a showcase match for him. So I wanted to introduce the New Jersey crowd that's more towards the Jersey Shore, which never seen him, the Bayville crowd. I wanted to introduce them to Fly Night. So this was going to be like a character match for him, essentially, for him and Edric, just to come in, be the heels that they are. And Joe Cruel gave me a call. I love Joe Cruel. He's been killing it at Pro Wrestling Magic. Him and all his guys, RTB, from Abeterones and V Daniels, those guys that's on my radar. They couldn't make the tryout. They called. It was like, please, we really want a spot. We want to come in. Even if it's just to come in and help, we're coming in to help. But if there's a spot on the car, we're bringing gear. And then the light bulbs went off. Joe Cruel, Fly Night. That's a match one of these old promoters would be like, I'm going to build that up for 5 to 6 months and then pay it off with a big match. Those are two thoroughbreds. I'm talking about the same kind of wrestler from each of their respective scenes. When I'm talking in terms of passion and intensity and wanting it and doing it the right way, Fly Night. He does it his own way, but he shows the intensity and the passion. Joe Cruel, he does it his own way. They're kind of opposites in just personalities. But I knew if I put them together, oh my God, I got so happy when I got that graphic. It was official, like the graphic makes it official. And I told Nicole to cut a promo on Joe Cruel. I know he didn't really know Joe Cruel, and I know Joe Cruel didn't really know him. Just told both of them cut promos. He called him Joe Drool. And I was like, Joe Cruel doesn't take this personal. I don't know Joe Cruel as well as I think I do. Joe Cruel. Or his music pop turned on. He pulls out a crop top, puts it on, and it said Joe Drool. Fuck you up. That was it. I'm getting goosebumps. And I remember, I saw a prior singles match between Elijah Eden and Skylar Kincaid. That was on my show. It went on second. So I had 2 single matches that I would really have my eyes on because these are potential guys that can go for the CPW Heavyweight Championship. That's why a singles match wasn't in the main, because that's a big match. You got to be built up for that. So I'm like, all right, let me see what Kincaid and Elijah can do. And it was the second match, so they were kind of still filling out the crowd. The crowd was still filling out them. But then I'm a very New Japanish style wrestler, and I got over in Bayville. Bayville loved me for it because I'm hard-hitting, real, and all that stuff. So I go to them, and I'm like, they want that New Japan stuff. And the passion that came out of Fly Night scared the shit out of Joe Cruel. Oh, you telling me, boy? You telling me? You telling me to bring that? You know who I am? You know who I am, Savage? I'm like, oh, shit, what did I do? Match starts, right? Off rip, they're fighting on the outside off the entrance. They're getting heat. The people of the building's like, fuck. We told everybody right before the show started, don't fight on the outside. Don't break anything in the building. These two fucking animals are just going at it. Going at ripping each other apart. I'm talking about like chest was bleeding. We're 2 minutes into the match.
I
Right?
seen. I seen.
That was 2 minutes in, Don. That was 2 minutes in. And I'm just like, can these two idiots just get in the ring? Because it was pissing me off because all the powers that be was watching it going, fuck, what are they doing? Because they're doing the dumb stuff. And I'm like, look at what they're doing. All right, so you don't want to sit on the outside. Get in the fucking ring. Get in the fucking ring. One of them got the hint. I think it was Fly Night. He got the hint. So he throws Joe Crow in the ring. And they proceed to just beat the living shit out of each other. And right before they did that, one of the guys who holds the music, who runs the building, was like, call the match. They're fucking everything up.
Oh, wow.
Call the match, right? The owner of Titan, which is Billy, he agreed because he's just like, fuck. You know, all right, fine. It's going crazy. They might fuck up the building. Fuck it. Then they all start watching them two go at it in the ring. At this moment, the go-home call really already got translated into the ring. The owner comes up to me and goes, end that. No go home. I need a full match. Because what I see, I want more. We end the go home. They start going to have a full match. And I remember I had it written down that this is a feud. They're going to come back to it. They're written on the paper. And Billy looks at me. He didn't even see the paper. At the end of their match, they're all finished. And he goes, we're coming back to that. It has to be a feud. We got to do this. And I showed him my paper. He's like, you're a smart fucking man. I'm like, I know what those two animals can do. And there was a couple matches like that where it was like, it could have been main event. It could not main event. It could have been match of the night. It was that one in particular. Joe Crew, Fly Nye. Abettaronas versus Daniel Alexander. Because I'm starting something called the Explosive Division, which is a homage to the X Division. So Patrick Saint can be in the Explosive Division. So like, you know, like it plays on that. They had a great match, and then the young boy match was Justin Bon Jovi versus Mouse Penn, an 18-year-old versus a 21-year-old. Very green, both of them. And when I tell you they delivered, man, they delivered. And then we were sitting there going, all right, we got a couple candidates for main match of night. See what this main event does. And then, Jesus Christ, that main event just stole the show. They stole the show. They felt the pressure. I'm talking about and they killed each other, man. They killed each other. We had Germans being caught out of midair, leading into Canadian destroyers, into amazing technical wrestling, to hard-hitting storytelling. And the finish was a roll-up, and everyone was fucking clapping. Like, when did you get that? When do you get that? You watch a match where there's all these crazy moves and the Canadian destroyers hit. That's a running joke, right? That's the joke. Hit a Canadian, duck the line, I'm going to roll you up and go home. You know what I'm saying? That's the joke. They fucking did that, and it got over. He stole the finish, and I'm just like, oh, man, it was great. So it was a great first show. I wish I was on it. But it was Fly Nye, man. Fly Nye's got a really, really bright future ahead of him. Edric just, you know, and that's what's great about Chosen. Everybody's learning how to play their roles. Edric's down there, and now he's learning how to really be that heel manager. When he's ready to be a Fly Nye's tag partner, I could just throw them into a tag match. So the sky's the limit for them, man. I'm so happy that they came down. I'm so happy.
I truly and personally appreciate that, again, that excitement. And I know you want to give the boys and the girls, you want to give them all equal praise and tell their individual stories. But personally, spending just a few minutes like we did on Fly Night, and I've been calling him Edric from day one, and I just found out like a fucking 2 weeks ago his name is Edric. That his name is Edric. I've been calling him Edric forever since I've known him. So I continue to call him Edric. But point being, just a little bit of spotlight and the excitement and what you gave us, the fans, and he's going to absolutely love how you spoke about his passion and intensity.
Yeah,
Absolutely loved.
he brought it, man. He brought it.
Uh, Sir, we are just 30, 10, 12, 9, 8 seconds shy of an hour and a half. And we could continue
Yeah, we
this
can go for
between,
hours.
we could go. But I know, again, people can only hear me yap so much. They want to see you, not me. And we can only take so much of your time. So we're going to probably put a cap on this right now. And
Yeah.
the way we are going to do it, I kind of, do road stories and spend a minute for road stories and such. But I feel that you have enough to promote. And I would really like for you, whatever, and I do fucking mean whatever you have in the near future to promote, may it be the CPW, the Titan, the Invictus, whatever you have going on, please give us some details so the boys and girls that are watching can look this stuff up and maybe attend if it's in their area and such.
Yeah, man. Well, first and foremost, go check out my YouTube channel. Go like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. The YouTube show I got on there, Go Savage Season. Check that out. That's just boys being boys and me with my family. You really get to know who I am. But check out IWA Intensity on YouTube. Check that out. It's a good product. The storytelling is there all throughout. Really taking a guy who went from the bottom, being a guy who was like just secondary in the tag team, and now he's in the main event. That story alone is like worth watching. Go check that out. Go check out IWA this weekend. Mayhem. It's gonna be mayhem. The YouTube show is gonna take a 4 week hiatus. Season 3 is gonna come back May 21st. There's a big show May 21st. Damn, my May is insane. I got May 18th debut in the Outlaw Wrestling.
Oh, wow.
I got May 20th Homicide. I got May 21st. May 21st. It's me versus Patrick Saint.
Oh,
If I beat Jacko this Saturday, it will be for the IWA Heavyweight Championship.
holy shit. We could go on and on about that
We could
kid,
go on and on about
another
that.
upcomer. Holy shit, one Patrick Saint. Would rather not speak upon him. We do like to lift up our talent. One Patrick Saint. Again, type him up, check him out. I'm sorry. Go ahead, man.
Yes. Go check that out. So there's a lot of potential there. There's a potential mega heavyweight championship match. Me versus and that came about because somebody put that in the comments. I want Patrick Saint versus PJ Savage. And hit up the people that hit up Run IWS and make it happen next show.
Wow.
And now it's happening. Check me out at Win Wrestling Is Now. They're doing some amazing stuff over there. Titan Championship Wrestling. They're hot right now. Check out Titan Championship Wrestling. April 29th, they got Next Level. I'll be in Puerto Rico, so I won't be at that show. I'll be wrestling for CWA, their mega show right before WWE comes back to Puerto Rico for Backlash. So much stuff, man. And then May 20th, the mega show for Titan Championship Wrestling, Rise of the Titans. That's worth a 4-hour drive. It's worth a 4-hour drive. You got Simon Gotch on the show. You got Ultimo Dragon and Sonny Ono on the show.
Wow.
I'm telling you. And then, of course, the main match that already got announced, PJ Savage versus Homicide. Like, that's going to be a stacked show. It's going to be a stacked show. That show's stacked. You got PJ Savage versus Homicide. It's a stacked show. I don't care what else is on the card. So go check that out, man. Just go follow me on Instagram and hit me up, man. I'm always available. I always talk to people with family. Everybody knows that, Don. You know how I am.
So no Pornhub.
Hey, one more thing. And Q's the best referee I know. He's the best referee in the history of referees.
Why would you even say that?
Q is better than Earl Hebner.
Oh, wow. Man, he's gonna love that. That just put an arrow in my heart. Oh my god. Okay. Wow. Didn't know that's where we were gonna end with all of this.
I gotta put over my boy.
We have pushed stuff aside on SCP and given him some love, but we don't have to always give him some love, believe me. Boys and girls, we've talked so many talents, so many promotions. The tail end to cap this off with all of those dates and everything that PJ Savage has pushed out. Look all of this stuff up on the old keyboard, on the face page, and all of that stuff. Check
Yeah.
stuff out. If you haven't heard of this, give the old like, give the old follow, hit the old sub, and all of that stuff so you can follow and become a new fan of a new promotion, of a new talent. Because when we're wrestling fans, we kind of find ourselves in a little niche, if you
Yeah.
will, of the same promotions, the same talents. Because, we like to support our home base companies and talents. I get that. But you still got to branch out because there is some amazing talent out there that you've never seen, that I've never seen still. Believe me, I only know about that much
Your,
of the talent that's really out there.
your part of the town up in Connecticut is not that far from the Bronx.
Hmm.
28th, Victus Pro Wrestling, main event against Big Ben Bishop. Come down.
That's a return for Invictus at the Bronx as well.
Yeah. They're running more in New York now, which is awesome. It's my hometown, so it's like finally getting to wrestle in front of my people, my fans, my friends, my family. So, and it's crazy. The owner compared me to John Cena. That is not a joke. When I come out at Invictus in the Bronx, one of the shows I came out with an 8-ball jacket, a Yankee fitted, and some Timbs on, and I wrestled Lucas Chase. That was a show I wrestled Lucas Chase. That crowd was nuts. It was nuts. So I'm telling you, just come down to one of them shows. You guys will not regret it.
And just to mention one more time, CPW, Chosen Pro Wrestling, get on that train now because it
Yep.
could turn into something very big very soon. You just never know.
We have 5 confirmed dates this year. The next show is June
Nice.
10th, Summer Shock. So come down, see that. After that, there's True Flies. After that, there's Charged Up. And then my favorite is in December, Final Fight, where our heavyweight champion will be crowned.
Nice. We've gotten so much from one PJ Savage in this hour and a half, boys and girls. Way too much. I should have been packed in an hour. The information that we got should have been packed in about 5 hours worth of time. I don't know how we squeeze it all in. You've been a gem. You've been very informational. You've been very passionate, exciting, fandom, all of what we love as a fan to see our talent still loving the industry because you know what? We see some of the talents, they kind of get pissed off, they kind of get jaded, they kind of get bitter and whatnot, but not all of them, just a few of them. But you're one of those guys that is just on the super high still of making this your livelihood. And I absolutely love seeing it, my man.
If I can say one thing, if you're one of those guys that's watching right now, and you're one of those guys that's pissed off and you're upset and you're just like you don't know where to go, pave your own fucking road. Pave it. I got inspired from Cody Rhodes and All In when they did it back in 2017, 18. I forgot when it was that they did it. And I started doing shows for Johnny, YouTube show called WW Flash. And that was in September Challenge. And that was all inspired because it was like I wasn't getting the look felt I deserved to be getting. Started that. Shit jumped off of me, and then I hit the indies, and things were still riding this way. And I'm like, I gotta start my own stuff, man. Gotta pave my own road. The only one that knows your value is you. Go out and get it.
The title of this episode was going to be Pressure, but now pave your own road. I think that's a beautiful, beautiful way to cap this off. Not with him. Pave your own road. Boys and girls, this is Turn the Pot with Don Kincaid and our very special guest, PJ Savage. Thank you so much for spending your time with us, the fans, my friend.
Hell yeah. Q's referee of the year. See ya.